Hi and welcome to this lesson where we will be looking at organic chemistry, an introduction and notation. Now, what do I refer to when I talk about organic chemistry? Well, organic chemistry involves carbon and all its derivatives. Okay. Derivatives. Okay, so in other words, whenever we have carbon in a reaction or in a molecule, it is an organic molecule. Okay, so that is what we're going to be focusing on for the next couple of videos, and it is quite a lengthy process and a lot of things to take in. So concentrate right off the bat, and we'll start by just showing you the way that we are going to represent molecules and compounds in organic chemistry. The way we are going to represent it is going to be with in three ways. We're going to have molecular formulas, the molecular formula, okay. Then we're going to do a condensed structural formula. Condensed structural formula. And then we're also going to have just a structural formula. Structural formula. Let me give you an example of each, and then I'll explain how they all work. So, for example, and don't worry so much about the names. I am going to mention some names, but it's not that important at this stage. We'll get to how do we name things. This is an example of a molecular formula. It is called methane. Methane's condensed structural formula and its molecular formula is the same. Okay, it is the same because there's no simpler way of writing that. Okay, and then the structural formula is a little image. It's a little structure of carbon bonded to 4 hydrogens. Okay, like this. Now you would have seen me use this type of notation all throughout the videos that I've been doing so far, especially when it comes to covalent bonds, and that's exactly the type of bonds that we are going to look at when we do organic chemistry, is covalent bonds. Okay, so that is one example. Okay, then we can have something slightly more complicated. We can have ethane. Okay, ethane, this is the molecular formula for ethane. The condensed structural formula for ethane is CH3CH3. Okay, so basically what this is saying is that there's 2 carbons and 6 hydrogens in the molecular formula. In the condensed structural formula, we see we've got 1 carbon with 3 hydrogens bonded to another carbon with 3 hydrogens, and if I draw the picture for you, you'll understand where we get that from. So here we have 2 carbons connected to one another, sharing an electron, and each one of these carbons is sharing more electrons with hydrogen. Again, I'm just showing you the different notations. In this video, we'll explain how each one of these can be constructed from the others in the next video. Okay, I can give you one more example. Okay, this is the molecular formula for butanol. Okay, we've got H10O. Okay, and this is how butanol's condensed structural formula will look. It will have CH3, CH2, CH2, then CH2OH. Okay, you can see we've got our 4 carbons. Okay, and then we've got our 10 hydrogens, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, and 1 oxygen. That makes up the molecular formula. And then we have our condensed structure, our structural formula looks like this. We've got our 4 carbons. Okay. The first carbon has 3 hydrogens. So you can see once we have this condensed structural formula, it's actually very easy to draw the structural formula. I think some of you might already get how it's done. Okay, and then we can see in this case, for example, our last carbon. This last carbon is connected to 2 hydrogens. Okay, 2 hydrogens, and then it's connected to an oxygen, and the oxygen is also connected to another hydrogen. So usually it's either written like this, but you could have also written it like that. However, I'm going to stick to the convention since this is an hydroxide ion, and we usually just keep it together, and that is what makes this thing an alcohol. But more of all this a little bit later on. It's really not that difficult. I just wanted to show you in this video examples of molecular formulas, condensed structural formulas, as well as the structural formula, which is kind of a pictorial demonstration of how the atoms are connected to one another in the molecule. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video where we will be looking at the structural formula and how it works. See you there.